This is Valley News Live at 5.
Several questions remain tonight on a Trail County accident that left a 4-year-old girl injured and rushed to a Fargo hospital. It happened Tuesday afternoon just before 4 in rural Blanchard after officials say a trailer hit the young girl on private property. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spoke to neighbors in the area today who say this was a case of wrong place, wrong time.
Hillsborough ambulance, please respond to a 4-year-old child who was run over by a vehicle. Unsure of her injuries, she was crying. Address is 15750 6th Street, Southeast in Blanchard.
Well, dispatch audio states Tuesday's tragic accident happened here. Several neighbors tell me it actually happened further north, with what seemed like dozens of cop cars and fire trucks in and around this home off of State Highway 200 and 156th Avenue. The Trail County Sheriff's Office says at this time no criminal charges have been filed as the incident appears to be an accident, but could not comment further.
I hope however it happened, there's no hard feelings with whoever was driving.
A condition update on the young girl was also not available today, but Roberg says the entire community and surrounding areas are praying for her full recovery. Many neighbors saying the news has shaken the town.
Anytime it's any age, any child, no one should have to go through that.
In Blanchard, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
The Trail County Sheriff's Office says it's still unknown if the trailer actually ran over the child or if it just hit her. The heat is back and it's sticking around for a few days. Hutch, looks like we've got a pretty nice evening ahead of us.
Well, we do have a few storms coming in the heat of the day as a cold front is going to bring some relief, and it's already doing so up near Langdon. Look at that temperature, 77 degrees, 100 triple-digit degrees in Bismarck at the capital, and we have upper 80s in Lakes Country right now. The radar now is going to become the story as this cold front punches its way through. Some strong storms heading into the Lake of the Woods area. So those extend south to just north of the Grand Forks area right now. So some thunder and lightning, the only threat. We do have some small hail potential from these cells, and a couple of these could produce severe size hail of around 1 inch in diameter. A few of these may have gusts of wind upwards of 60 miles per hour. On the Big Lake and in War Road, these storms are approaching at 40 miles per hour. They'll be in War Road by 5:09 here shortly. And then north of the Grand Forks area, these are moving to the southeast, so northwest Polk County. Expect a pretty strong storm roaming through that area in the upcoming little bit. And there is a look at that cell right now, just north of Grand Forks from our Home of Economy camera. Temperatures will drop fairly quickly once we get past sunset tonight. Notice our winds shift from south to north here in Fargo as we go into the 9 o'clock hour. Cooler weather is in the forecast. We'll track these storms hour by hour and tell you what the concerns are and where here in just a couple of moments.
Okay, thanks, Hutch. Another suspicious fire was reported in the area. A vehicle fire reported this morning at 9th Street and 32nd Avenue in West Fargo. No one was hurt. The vehicle was destroyed. Nearby buildings were not damaged. We now know the name of the man who was charged with DUI after crashing a stolen car on I-29 last night. He's been identified as Brandon Booth. He was speeding on I-29 when he suddenly veered toward the Main Avenue exit. Authorities say he lost control of the car and hit a concrete support beam. Booth was ejected from the vehicle and taken to a hospital with serious injuries, but is in stable condition. There's a new push in North Dakota to recall the governor. Today, North Dakota's Secretary of State approved the collection of signatures that could lead to a recall election of both Governor Doug Burgum and Lieutenant Governor Brent Sanford. The petition group is accusing the governor of contempt of the voters and negligence in office. The chairman of the recall committee is Michael Coachman, who challenged Burgum for the Republican nomination for governor in 2020, but lost. Burgum defeated him by nearly 80 points in the primary. The Minnesota legislature is moving forward with several major budget bills. A House committee sent the environment budget to the floor for a final vote after Republicans dropped their demand that Governor Tim Walz abandon his effort to encourage a switch to electric cars. The legislation is one of several bills making up a $52 billion two-year budget that lawmakers must pass before July 1st. 3 bills have passed both chambers and await the governor's signature. A Canadian man has pleaded guilty to transporting 67 illegal guns in a rented truck that was pulled over on I-94 in Minnesota. The 29-year-old man was a passenger in the truck that was pulled over near Fergus Falls in January for driving close to 100 miles per hour. A trooper searched the truck and found a bag of guns. Court documents state that man arrested faces several charges, including being in the country illegally and for murder in Canada. President Biden just announced new steps to control gun violence as crime surges in the nation's cities. Reporter Natalie Brand explains the plan.
Across U.S. cities, big and small, there's rising concern over a spike in crime.
We can't sit in our homes and watch TV without gun violence.
The White House says homicides rose 30% last year, a trend the president called unacceptable.
Crime historically rises during the summer. And as we emerge from this pandemic, with the country opening back up again, the traditional summer spike may even be more pronounced than it usually would be.
The Biden administration is laying out a plan to take aim at gun violence, announcing a new DOJ zero tolerance policy in which the ATF will revoke licenses of gun dealers if they willfully violate gun laws.
We will hold gun dealers that break the rules accountable for their actions.
The administration says the Treasury Department will also allow impacted communities to use funds from the recently passed American Rescue Plan to go towards law enforcement hiring, overtime, and prevention programs.
And the plan includes expanding summer programming and employment opportunities for teenagers and young adults.
We must get to the bottom of how these crimes are being committed.
Mayor Daniela Levine Cava of Miami-Dade County was one of the city leaders invited to the White House Wednesday to discuss strategies for stopping the violence.
Who knows the exact reasons, but we know that we can address it, and we must and we will.
The spike in crime has also become a tense political issue as the debate over police reform continues on Capitol Hill and in communities nationwide. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The employer of a man who was run over by a forklift has been cited by state regulators and fined $25,000. Authorities say the 45-year-old man was working at the Enbridge Energy Line 3 site in northern Minnesota. They say he was standing behind the forklift when it backed over him. The company plans on contesting the citation. City leaders in West Fargo are about to discuss the North Cheyenne Street Corridor project. The improvements will replace aging infrastructure, including water mains, sanitary sewer, and storm sewers throughout the corridor. The city will also add streetscaping to strengthen the area's destination appeal and improve walkability, costing over $2 million. These improvements include new concrete, curb and gutter, and diagonal and parallel parking, just to name a few. The total cost of the project is over $10 million, which is being paid from their funding plan. The total includes construction costs, utility relocations, and consulting for starters coming from capital improvement and economic development sales tax, with revenues from water and sewer fees. The meeting will start in about 10 minutes at the City Hall Commission chambers. School leaders in Grand Forks say the fight for a new mega school isn't over. They're holding a special board meeting on Monday to decide where they go from here. Voters in Grand Forks shot down a proposal to build a new mega school on the north end of the city. A number of issues deterred voters in the special election, from higher taxes to not wanting their neighborhood schools to close. The Education Association president tells us they're going to have to bring up the referendum again. It's just unknown how soon. The federal building and post office in Fargo has been listed in the National Register of Historic Places. The list features properties that are worthy of preservation and recognition. However, contrary to some misconceptions about the National Register program, a listing in it doesn't prevent owners from making changes to the property, nor does it restrict the use or sale of it. The Fargo building was built in 1969. North Dakota's latest unemployment numbers are showing a continuing decline, bringing the state closer to pre-pandemic levels. In May, the state's not seasonally adjusted unemployment was at 3.5%, down 0.6% from the previous month. The rate is also 5% less than it was in May of last year, when many businesses were shut down due to the pandemic. Nationally, the unemployment rate has also been steadily dropping and is now at 5.5%. A 4th of July tradition is coming back to the FM area. We'll tell you what to know before you go. Straight ahead.
Sizzling temperatures today, with temperatures reaching triple digits out in the central Dakotas. Now we focus our attention on strong to possibly severe thunderstorms as a cold front blasts through. We'll track this, have the timing on when they may impact your area coming up right after this.